Hello and welcome to our debut Dell City Eagles Coaches Show with Coach Mike Dunn and myself, Cody Sparks, and producer Brad Reed on hand to get her done. We want to welcome Mike Dunn to the Dell City area and to the new job as the head Eagle.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Well, now tell us a little bit. Did you grow up here in Midwest City or Mid-Dell area?
Yeah, I did grow up in the Mid-Dell area. I've been a Mid-Dell guy my whole life. My family, everybody was Mid-Dell people. Dad was a principal a long time here.
Right.
Mom was a reading teacher, reading specialist, kind of worked her way up. She still works in the district now. Grew up here in Dell City, then ended up moving out to the country. And I went to high school at Carl Albert, was fortunate enough to win some state championships while I was in school. Played under Coach Rose, so got to learn how to do it the right way as a player, and then was fortunate enough when I went to school at OU to come back, and I coached for 3 years before I made it a career. I coached there in college at Carl Albert and was fortunate to win another state championship as a coach. So lots of great experience there, and yeah.
Good resume. Now, you mentioned Coach Rose. How long was he at Carl Albert?
He was 23 years,
Okay.
I think. He came to Carl Albert when I was 6th or 7th grade.
Okay.
I was in junior high or elementary, but he came, and I guess his third year there is when he won a state championship, and I ended up being on the team, I guess his 4th or 5th year.
Great.
We made a little run there. So I think he did 23 years, and he spent his first, some people don't know this, but he spent his first 22 years at Dell City.
Uh-huh.
So, he was an assistant under Coach Henry Manning at Dell City, and I know he took a lot of what he learned here under Coach Manning and applied it there at Carl Albert and made a career out of it. So, he speaks highly of both schools. He's actually come to a couple practices
That's
already.
great.
We've got some of his old players on staff. So, he's been a part of it, and I think he really, I think he enjoys us being here.
That's great.
Gives him a reason to come back again. So
yeah. You see those coaching trees in college and different things like that, and holds true in high school as well.
It does. It's kind of funny you said that. I talked to Jacob Unruh with the Oklahoman just a couple of days ago, and he was asking me about Coach Rose's coaching tree and talking about how that could be an interesting story because there are, there's guys down in Texas that played under Coach Rose. He's got 4 or 5 guys that are head coaches now in Oklahoma that were on his staff. When I was in school, Matt Weber at Pauls Valley, Chris Barrett's the new head coach at Ada. Those were all Carl Albert guys at one time under Coach Rose. So, he does have an extensive tree of players that became coaches and then coaches underneath them that have become head coaches. So
that's great.
It's big time.
You mentioned actually people coaching in Texas. I understand you used to do a little work down there yourself.
I did. I spent the last 11 years in 4 schools there in Texas. Spent some time in the Metroplex. That was where I was most recently the last 3 years at Brewer High School with Wade Griffin, head coach there. He's an Oklahoma guy, a lot of Oklahoma ties. Spent some time in Central Texas, had a lot of success there at Elgin High School and Rockdale High School. And then I spent some time down in South Texas at Los Fresnos, which is southmost. It's one of those schools you're seeing right now. It's dealing with all the flooding with the hurricane and whatnot. But I spent some good years there and just felt like it was the right time to come back, though.
Well, that's great. Given the opportunity, great to have you back. Now, I understand you do, other than just a head football coach, you have a few other duties along with that. Yeah,
we're athletic director as well here at the school. So I think we've got 22 programs that I kind of oversee, which, the good thing is we've got a great administrative staff. So, they help me with the fall sports. They know that I'm pretty busy with football, and so they'll help with softball and cross country, volleyball, help with cheer. They have a big hand in that as well. And we've got a great staff overall in our athletic department. So, it's not as much work as you would think being the head football coach and having to oversee 22 programs. We've got a coaching staff that's been here for a while. We've got some really good veterans, and their programs kind of run themselves by now. So it's not as time consuming as you would think. It'll get that way in the spring, but right now I've been able to focus on football, which is good.
And that's probably important being a first year.
It is.
You mentioned coaching staff. Of course, you and other programs you have, whether it's band and the spirit squads, all those kind of things. We'll see them out there on Friday night supporting the guys. So big shout out to them and the concession folks. We don't want to leave them out.
For sure. Our band director, Jimmy Martz, and our band boosters, our parents, they do a wonderful job. Jimmy's one of those guys that he wants everything to be right. He wants everything to be perfect, and they practice hard. I mean, I've never seen a band more dedicated than the band here at Del City. So it's been fun to watch. You know, our kids, they respect everything that they do. Our football players love our band and love the support that they bring. And it's kind of funny. Jimmy's one of those guys. He understands football, so he knows when not to play and when to be louder and when to get rowdy up there. And you know, we make a big deal of our fight song and our alma mater.
Yeah.
You know, our kids respect those things that are dear to our school. So he's a good one. He makes my job a lot more fun whenever you can work hand in hand with the band director and everything is smooth and you know both programs support each other. So yeah,
that's good.
Big shout out to those guys for sure.
Helps they're not playing when the quarterback's calling out the cadence.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a conversation we just had on the phone. So yeah, for sure.
Now, with you on your coaching staff, I know you mentioned some former Carl Albert grads.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about those guys.
We've got, my assistant head coach, defensive coordinator is Robert Jones. He graduated from Carl Albert in 2001. So he was on a few of those state championship teams as well with us. He went and played college ball at Oklahoma State, played corner there. He was an all Big 12 guy. He had some opportunities to play at some higher levels as well. So Coach Jones brings a lot of experience. He's kind of the hammer. You know, our kids know that if you're getting disciplined, it's usually by Coach Jones. He carries what we call the list in his pocket.
Oh, no.
He's got a little pocketbook, and if you get on the list, you know you're running extra. So he's kind of our hammer. But, you know, the kids end up loving him. It's kind of funny everywhere we go, kids end up loving him the most, even though he's kind of the hardest one. But you find out kids usually want that kind of structure. So glad to have him around. Coach Jason Madonna, he graduated from Carl Albert in 03. So you had Jones 01, me 02, Madonna 03. He's offensive coordinator. He's an offensive line guy. He's recently been the head coach at Bethel the last 4 years, and then I was able to get him over here to Del City. So glad to have him back. He's a Mid-Del guy. That was one of the things that was important to me and important to our staff was getting Mid-Del people back. You know, people that care about this place and know the dynamic and know how great Del City can be. You know, so that was important. Who else? We got Remente Bynum. He's an old Carl Albert grad. He was 96 grad. He played college ball at Vanderbilt, offensive lineman. So he's helping with our offensive line.
Smart too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. 4-year degree there. You got to have a little something about you. So Remente, he does a great job for us. And then, you know, Carl Albert, Coach Rose's tree. There's a couple of Del City grads that are on staff. Mike Woods, who played at OU. Mike is still on staff with us, and he played underneath Coach Rose. And then Joby Hooper, who was class of 1984. He was an All-Stater here at Del City. He wanted to come back. He's volunteering for us. He wanted to come back and give back to his hometown and his school that he loves. So, you know, we're fortunate to have guys like that care about the place.
That's great. And especially knowing the guys that you played ball with in high school, you know, you kind of already have that.
For sure.
You know,
shared some common
together.
bonds. Yeah, for sure. We had some successes together and had some failures together. I mean, won some games, lost some games, and, you know, you grow from that as people. And, you know, Coach Jones, he's been with me down in Texas for 10 years now, so that part's easy. With Coach Madonna, you know, we're buddies, teammates in high school, and we've kept in touch all throughout our careers. You know, I always knew where he was. He knew where I was. Never had an opportunity to work together until now, but, it's just like yesterday. We played on the same offensive line together.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so, you know, you talk about being a unit, and we were that in high school, and so now it's made this real seamless and easy. So.
Yeah, knowing who goes high and who goes low, right?
For sure, yeah.
Not that we do that.
Depends on who you play. Yeah.
Who's overseeing the special teams?
Well, we kind of do it as a group. Matt Looney has kind of taken that role as our go-to guy on the special teams. But we're good about spreading out the duties and not making sure that it's not one guy just having to do all of it. Yeah. So Coach Looney's overseeing it, and he was most recently the head coach at Little Axe for the last 2 years. So that's been good. I've got a couple guys. I've got 3 coaches that have head coaching experience. So me being in my first head coaching job, especially being an athletic director and the part that consumes your time there, it's good to have guys I can go to and lean on. I can lean on them for advice. I can talk to them about procedures in Oklahoma since I haven't been here. You know, that's been good. You know, and Matt, he's got a lot of great experience, and it's one of the things I liked about when he came over to interview with me. You know, I started talking to him about Ted Durrell and Coach Martin out at Jones and some of the guys that he's worked with, and it's guys that have a lot of good experience and a lot of wins. So,
Yeah.
you know, that was big to me to get him around and then make sure to give him some duty because he's been a head coach. So, you know, make sure he's got duties and knows that he's a big part of what we do. So
I used to have a coach that said, you have to learn how to win.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you may win a game, but
sure.
to be great, you have to learn how to win.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You got to learn how to win. You got to learn how to lose too.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
I mean, that's another thing I was just talking to our band director about a while ago. We're always going to win or lose by the code. I mean, we're going to do things right, and they're going to know. And I talk to our kids all the time. We don't ever lose. We might run out of time, but we're not going to lose, and you're going to hold your head high. As long as you know you went out there and gave it your all and you played the best you can, we'll be happy with our guys. So.